Welcome to Module 2, Lesson 2, Verbal Communication Mastery. To see how these tools work in practice, we are stepping right up to the hotel front desk. Guests arrive carrying an invisible emotional overlay. They bring expectations built from a long travel day, traffic, or simple fatigue. If a problem pops up, that built-in stress turns a minor logistical hiccup into a high-tension complaint. In that heightened emotional state, a guest's sensitivity to language increases. A phrase that sounds perfectly reasonable in normal conversation hits a frustrated guest's ear as a dismissive brush-off. The specific way words are selected and delivered dictates whether a guest perceives genuine goodwill or hostility. Let's freeze that high-tension interaction for a second. Before we even propose a single solution, the base layer of our response, the physical sound of our voice, can provide immediate comfort and de-escalate the tension. Think of your pacing as an emotional thermostat. Speak too fast and the guest feels hurried. Speak too slowly and they feel patronized. Finding a steady, natural rhythm anchors the interaction in the middle, projecting emotional stability to a distressed person. By contrast, adopting a defensive or overly formal tone pushes distance between you and the guest, signaling that you aren't actually making an effort to resolve their issue. Your voice is the physical conduit for listening. Regulating your pace and tone is the prerequisite to making the guest feel heard at all. Moving from how we sound to the raw script, seemingly harmless phrases often act as triggers. Telling someone you need to calm down actively denigrates their feelings and often ensures the situation will worsen. Watch how subtle phrasing shifts the dynamic. Saying, "That's not my fault," passes the burden onto the guest, setting up an adversarial conflict. Saying, "I'm here to help," signals cooperation. That simple swap reframes the guest's role into a collaborative partner in solving the problem. The rule of clarity applies heavily to policy explanations. Guests need direct answers, so we have to strip out complex corporate jargon and replace it with straightforward, accessible terminology. Dropping the heavy jargon removes confusion and bitterness, proving to the guest that you respect their time and understand their problem. We also have to look at the architecture of our sentences, especially when gathering information. Asking, "How come you told us so late?" carries an accusatory bite. Asking, "Can you help me understand what happened?" is supportive and keeps the focus strictly on the situation. This split pathway diagram illustrates how framing alters emotional reality. Presenting facts through restriction, like saying "fully booked," shuts the guest down. Presenting facts through possibility, offering alternatives, keeps the dialogue open. Opening up possibilities steers the conversation toward a tangible solution, honoring the guest's frustration. Good dialogue also requires rhythm. Knowing when to stop talking and leave space after a key statement gives the guest airtime to reflect and respond. Nailing that conversational rhythm and framing your answers thoughtfully helps ensure the interaction feels like a respectful human exchange instead of a rehearsed, canned response. But sometimes an interaction escalates and a guest becomes pushy. When this happens, you have to hold your boundaries without ever raising your own intensity to match theirs. You can guide the energy back to a manageable baseline by using power of now phrases like, "I want to help and I am listening closely." This signals that their emotions are recognized. A genuine apology is a formula. Combine earnest acknowledgement, like "I am very sorry," with specific action. Subtract unnecessary culpability, and you repair trust. But if you absorb blame for events outside your control, the apology rings hollow and trust drops. Balancing clear empathy with firm professional boundaries reassures the guest that they are in the hands of a capable expert. Let's unpause that initial scenario at the front desk. When you actively manage your tone, deploy cooperative vocabulary, frame the options, and pace the dialogue, you change the trajectory of the conversation. These layers work together to lower the emotional temperature, creating space for a collaborative conversation where there was previously only conflict. Eloquent communication has nothing to do with showing off an impressive vocabulary. It is the intentional practice of guiding a frustrated person through an emotional journey toward a resolution. By mastering this verbal toolkit, staff resolve the immediate logistical issue while rebuilding the rapport necessary for long-term loyalty.